Well, tonight we're going to be unveiling a full program of 223 films from 47 countries around the globe. We've got exciting world premieres, talent in attendance, all kinds of hard-hitting documentaries, narratives of every ilk imaginable, local films, really you name it. There's something for everybody this year. We have Kaylee Fagerstrom on shorts programming, Harrison Bender as a features programmer, Nellie Killian, previously from BAM Cinema Fest, is our programmer at large, and then creative producer Joe Newmeyer. And we all work together essentially to get eyes on every film that comes our way, have a discussion about it, and then try to finagle proper scheduling with the filmmakers' availability, and then also the availability of the films, you know, with other festivals. It certainly is a little bit of extra, you know, work to finagle around Tribeca, you know, etc. You know, we're really heralding a moment, you know, where you can go back to the theater, you know, when the emphasis is now put to, you know, video on demand, because you can get anything you want at home on your computer. We're saying, no, come back to the theater. We're having, you know, a really nice, intimate experience in the newly renovated Regal Hollywood cinemas. So it's going to be extra plush and comfortable seating. And, you know, our rooms are going to be capped at 115 people max, so you'll be right up close and personal with the filmmakers. You know, we're proud to bring in a sensory-friendly screening, which happens Sunday at 11 a.m. That's Sunday the 22nd. The film is called Lou Over the Wall, which is an animated film about young musicians who come into contact with a very charismatic mermaid and go on a wild adventure. And in addition to that, we're doing our kids VIP trips this year, I believe in conjunction with our sports film called Killer Bees, which we'll be talking a little bit more about up on the podium later. And also a wonderful documentary about the Preservation Hall Jazz Band called A Tuba to Cuba, which is not a film made for kids, but is certainly appropriate for all audiences. I'm especially excited about a documentary called Three Identical Strangers. It's really a stranger than fiction true story about social experiments and identical triplets, so I won't say any more than that. I'm also excited to see We the Animals. Let's see. Gosh, there's so many. It's hard for me to name. For 10 days every year, the Sarasota Film Festival offers a unique opportunity to come and see films that you may never ever get to see again. Many of these films will come out, you know, online or in theaters. But so many of them, you know, the life of these films is relegated to the festivals they play. And I can assure you that it'll be a unique experience that you won't be forgetting anytime soon. This year, we're excited to be expanding into Five Points Park for our opening night block party and also our closing night party. We're going to be featuring some really exceptional original live music with a band called the Seratones coming out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Just fantastic kind of southern rock mixed with punk and soul, just out of this world. So we have Serotones. We also have Tangina Stone, who's taking a break from an upcoming Asian tour to be with us for opening night. And then legendary Athens post-punk group, Pylon, is coming back for our closing weekend. So really exciting stuff with those parties.
Oh, it's absolutely exciting. This is my first year as the Associate Festival Director, but this is my 7th year with the festival, and I'm so honored to be able to be at the helm of this this anniversary year. Yes, we have, I believe, 224 films this year. Some fantastic offerings from our narrative and documentary slates, from our spotlight films, our opening and closing night films. This year, we're actually doing a closing day film in addition to our closing night film, so we're adding a lot of very special programming for this 20th anniversary. We're excited to partner this year with the brand new Art Ovation Hotel on Palm Avenue, and we will be screening a lot of our more popular films in their ballroom because of the extra capacity. We're lucky to also be back at one of our title sponsors, the Regal Cinemas. Due to their renovation with the luxury seating, a lot of their seating capacity decreased, so we wanted to make sure to accommodate all of our clients and our attendees. This year we're featuring a retrospective screening of Through the Tunnel, which is very exciting. We screened this about 10 years ago, and we're so happy to have its 10th anniversary and our 20th anniversary. I'm also excited to partner with Chill Lounge this year for a brand new closing night block party. We will be taking over 5 Points Park this year. And we will also be repeating our opening night block party, which was a smashing success last year and very popular. We will also be on our Friday, our gala party. We're doing a 20th anniversary Out of This World celebration that's brought to you by Full Moon Promotions. We've been bringing in a lot of national acts that have notoriety really across the globe. They're internationally touring acts that we wanted to bring in specially for this year. We'll also be inserting music, as it is one of our sidebars, through as many events as possible this year. We always showcase our Youth Fest. We have a shorts program that we have broken down into several age categories, one for all ages, one for 8 and over. We also do a Youth Fest full feature screening. This year it's an animated film called Lou Over the Wall. We also do a sensory-friendly screening of that film as well, which is an opportunity for people that don't enjoy the harsh darkness and extreme sound that normally comes from a normal screening. They're able to enjoy it in a less intense capacity. The biggest part of all of this is our sponsors and our members and our cinephiles that support us each and every single year, that help us facilitate such a large event. You know, it's really a series of hundreds of events within one 10-day span, and so we really could not do that at all without the help of our sponsors. A lot of our volunteers have been here longer than most of the staff have, which they're so wonderful and welcoming and sharing with their experiences, both with the festival and in life. They help us keep to deadline. They point out things that we may have forgotten. We would just be completely sunk without our wonderful volunteers. And as for our staff, I mean, they have been working tirelessly around the clock since really the beginning of January to put this program together, to screen, I believe, over 1,600 films, both from submissions and from distributors, from competitive other festivals. So it's been a lot of hard work, and we're very excited to launch this tonight. The great benefit about the format of a film festival is that you're not just seeing films, you are seeing films with the artists that make them in attendance. And that's so special because it inspires conversations, not only about the process of filmmaking, but about the messaging and the stories that are contained in those. And so many of those create and inspire conversations between different demographics, different age groups of those attendees that are present to experience this. And that really is the special part of community that the Sarasota Film Festival provides in this town. We're very excited to do it again.
showcases Sarasota. I think we started a spark a number of years ago for filmmaking and the film industry in Sarasota. In fact, I know we started a spark. It's pretty obvious. And now we have, a great film commissioner. We have a lot of independent films that are filming here. We've had many over the years. We've got the Ringling College film program that started just a few years ago that's getting great accolades. And we have a lot of independent filmmakers who come here for the festival and buy homes here and move here. So we're really, really excited about it. And of course, we bring a lot of people in for the festival, which provides, a great tourism component. We have a good time. And that's really probably the recipe. Good time, great films, Sarasota, Gulf Coast region. What else are you going to do, right? As it gets better and better, I can't imagine what we're going to be looking at when we're looking at augmented reality 10 years from now, and these films. And I don't know, I just can't even imagine. But you can rest assured of one thing, that we'll be here and that we'll be doing it. That things will be very different, but we're going to be as involved as ever, and the independent filmmaker is still going to be supported in every way we can imagine. And the other thing I want to say is that I'm sure of one other thing, and that's that METV is going to be here to support us. It gets a lot of attention. I was looking at our press breaks just today to see what kind of coverage we got around the world, and boy, we're getting it. There are no less than a dozen that I saw pop up, everything from IndieWire to Hollywood Reporter, to magazines in Berlin and Paris and London. It's pretty fantastic, and we're really looking forward to see what the future is going to bring. But everywhere I go in my travels around the world for business or associated with film or just pleasure, people know the Sarasota Film Festival. So we're really grateful. Thank you, Charles. Thanks for everything. Welcome to the Kickoff, or the press and sponsor Kickoff for the 20th anniversary of the Sarasota Film Festival. This year, we have enlisted the help of many people that are new to the festival in their current positions, but many of them have been with the festival for many, many years, working late at night over the past 8 and 10 years, some of them, to make sure that the festival is brought to the viewing public as expeditiously and as perfect as possible. And in evaluating the competence of some of these individuals this year, we elevated them into different positions, some of which they were educated for, with academic backgrounds, some with little experience in the fields they were put into, but each of them has excelled in putting this package together in this year's festival. So much so that I am absolutely certain that when we look at this programming and when the public and the independent filmmaking community around the world looks at this, they're going to be very, very impressed. Now, in many ways, I look at it and think we're more diversified in our approach than we've ever been. And then I look back over some of the other festivals and I realize that we've been 50% or more women directors for many years. So in that category, it really hasn't changed, has it? In many other areas of diversification, we've made special efforts to be more inclusive of some of the thousands of films that were submitted to us. Some of them are really, really bad, and there's no way we can put them in the festival. But many of them are very, very good. And this year, more than any other year, we've received a lot of very, very good films. We have a lot of different sidebars that are going to be available to the viewing public, and the programming staff is going to talk about those in a little while. I want to thank the sponsors that have been with the festival for the last 20 years. Among those, and I do this every year, thank you, Mark, and the Amicus Foundation, Sharon Weiner is here with us this evening. Sharon, I don't know, I'm sure you can hear me because this acoustic is actually pretty good. There she is. Okay, she's back there, and Jerry Jordan is pointing to her. But Sharon, thank you very, very much. Without Sharon, this festival for the past 10 years would not have been happening. We also want to thank the Regal Entertainment Group. When they were doing modifications to the theater, I got a lot of phone calls and a lot of messages were left saying, oh my gosh, are you going to move down to Sarasota Square? Are you going to try to relocate the festival? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I'm like, well, Regal's pretty cool. Regal has been very supportive of us. They've been through a sale. I guess Regal got sold last year, I think to a French company or something. But I thought, no, they're going to continue to be supportive. And in fact, they came forward early in the fall and said, of course, we're going to be there for you. Of course, we want the film festival. This is exactly what they said. We want the film festival in our facility. We have less seats, but what we do have is very comfortable seats. So immediately tried to think if we could charge more for that comfort, but I think we decided no. But the Regal Cinema operation and the folks at Regal and the new folks at Regal, we want to give them a warm, warm thank you for 20 years of support. So thank you, Regal. If anybody got that on their iPhone, please send it to the Regal guy because I want them to see that. The other thing that we're doing this year, which is kind of interesting, over the last 20 years, we've been in about 5 different office spaces. Some I owned, some I did not in the early years. But this year, we're going to be building a new facility starting in about a month or so, permitted, but I think we're just about done, if not quite done. We're going to be located on the same piece of property where the headquarters is now. We're going to be talking about that a lot more in the coming weeks, but we'll be able to take up to 10,000 feet of space. That's going to be a multi-purpose campus for the film festival and a few friends, and we're very, very excited about that. I think the permitting is complete in the city of Sarasota. It was designed by Mark Sultana. It's being built by Gates Construction. So we're very, very happy about that. Let's see what else I'm supposed to say here. I want to thank the board of directors. We've got Ann Logan here. I've got Alan Wallach. Is anybody else from the board here? I'm not sure. Alan, is anyone here? Alan. Okay, we have some new board members this year, but I don't think they are here. And we have some new cinephiles. Harry, are you here? Harry, how you doing? Is this the wife? Hi, wife. How you doing? Well, Harry's going to get increasingly involved with the festival as well, so we thank you, Harry. I appreciate your being here tonight, and we appreciate your support. There's a few highlights that I'm going to mention about the festival, and as every year, I have to say the same thing. Things change in a film festival, and over the next 3 and 4 weeks, we fully expect that we're going to have to spend more on first-class tickets and jet fuel to bring people in because they're all prima donnas and they expect to get here at the last minute. That's not true. I didn't say that. But it's going to cost us a lot of money. But nonetheless, over the next 4 weeks, we expect to add to this lineup pretty significantly, as we do every year. But we've got a great program planned. As I said, they're going to talk about it in a little while. Steve Gutenberg is coming in. He's a very funny guy. Virginia Madsen, with a long history of great work, will be coming in. One of my favorite things that we're doing is a documentary about Nick Bollettieri. I don't know how many here know Nick. Many of you probably know of Nick. Nick is in his mid to late 80s now, I believe, and he started the Bollettieri Tennis Academy that is now known as IMG. He is a world-class coach who's coached the finest tennis players in the world with pretty great results, and he has some interesting relationships, or has had some interesting relationships with his kids. So we have a great documentary about Nick. He'll be showing up, and we will have some surprise guests that will be supporting that documentary. We will be having, let's see, we have another screening this year. Last year we had a successful showing that featured an NBA star, And we've got another NBA thing this year. We'll be announcing soon who'll be attending in support of that. I think everyone will definitely enjoy that. It's called Killer Bees, and you'll be hearing more about that. Our closing night film? Our closing night film is perhaps my favorite. It's a documentary that we're partnering with the Discovery Channel on. It's very interesting for a lot of reasons, not the least of which the festival dear friend Rory Kennedy did the film, and it's about NASA, the history of NASA. Of course, her uncle was fundamentally involved in the growth of NASA and the moonshot and all that stuff, and we're expecting this to be supported by some of the top brass at NASA. And when I say top brass, I'm talking about the most significant people in the organization, not the politicians, but the scientists. Many of you may or may not know that they deal with meteorological issues, sustainability issues, all kinds of things about protecting the Earth. And while there's a focus on that in the film, it's not the entire focus. So it's a very, very well done film. That'll be our closing night film. And these guys may talk about that some more. So unless I'm forgetting something, oh yeah, I should thank the staff. And I mentioned them earlier about how great these guys have been. I remember last week I came in and I said, had you guys just done an all-nighter? And the reality is they had done 3 all-nighters in a row. And I'm not kidding. There were stacked up towers of Red Bull, and they were shaking, but they were getting the job done in a way that I've never, ever seen before in 20 years. So I'm very, very impressed in what you got done. Their passion for independent film led them to take more and more films and find way to squeeze more and more great stuff into the program, even though they had completed the program 3 or 4 times over the preceding weeks. And although I got very mad at them for that, I commend you guys for what you did. It's unbelievable that you got this done, and I love you guys. You guys are amazing. So our staff, which I'm going to try to read off here, Harrison Bender. Harrison is here doing our programming. Albert, where are you, Albert? Albert, is Albert here? Girls, is Albert here? Where's Albert? Is he raising his hand? Albert, wherever you are, you're incredible. You're probably out working in the lobby or something. Greg in our program, he's great. And incidentally, you may know Greg and Aaron are musicians, and to be able to get them into the administration, the creative part of the festival, and programming operations was a major coup. And I am so, so happy about that. But the result of that is that there is a major musical component this year in the festival. It's going to be imbued with music, at least portions of it. And I think we're going to set the tone to increase that over the next 20 years. I think we're going to see a metamorphosis here that involves all kinds of music in support of film and perhaps as a standalone. Megan Bradley. Megan, where are you? Handling travel and concierge stuff, and there you are. Thank you, Megan. Claire Ann's not here. Andrea Davis not here, right? Bess from Frank PR. Bess? Frank PR has been amazing. Absolutely amazing. The media landscape is changing so quickly in film and content, and Netflix and Hulu and everything else, that to have an operation like Frank handling our public relations makes all the difference. They are completely involved in the entertainment industry and deal with people across the entire spectrum and the entire world in film and independent film. And we thank you so very much, and we're very happy to have Lena join Lena, one of the 2 owners of Frank PR, join our board of directors this year. She insisted on it. She insisted on it. She absolutely insisted. And so we finally said yes. So thank you, Frank PR, for everything that you do and continue to do for the past 8 or 10 years. Thank you. Okay, James Fowler, Callie Fagerstrom. She's not here tonight, but Callie, of course, has been with us for many years, mostly programming shorts, and she returns this year. I can't really read this, but I'm gonna, Bob Giovanelli, who's our house manager for the theaters. When I see Bob, I know everything's okay, everything's gonna be fine. He's a great guy, and he's been here for at least 10 or 12 years. We thank him very, very much for returning. And I'm going to leave the rest of these up to, Aaron. So thank you very much. If there's any questions, please ask the programmers. They're going to get up here in a moment, and they're going to do some more talking. But we want everyone to know how much we appreciate all the work of all the sponsors, all the staff, all the volunteers, of which there are literally hundreds, for everything they've done, not just this year, but the years in the past. And one other thing I have to mention, even though we're in the Westin, we love the Westin, we're glad the Westin is here. $10 to park's too much. But besides that, we love it here very much, and they really did save us because we were originally placed at the Art Ovation Hotel. This year, the Art Ovation Hotel is a principal sponsor for us. It's also a venue in which we're going to be showing movies, and they've been very, very supportive so far, and we really expect that this partnership is going to carry well into the future. So thank you, Art Ovation. And without further, Greg.
Good evening, friends. For our 20th anniversary season, we are thrilled to bring to you a total of 223 films from 47 countries around the globe. We're going to kick it off with Eric Stoltz's Class Rank for our opening night film. It is a smart and disarming comedy about two overachieving high school graduates who stand at the precipice of the rest of their lives, but must balance burgeoning feelings of genuine affection with their all-consuming ambitions for professional success. We've already introduced Harrison Bender, our features programmer, but I'd also like to introduce Nellie Killian, our programmer at large, and also say thank you to Joe Newmeyer in absentia, our creative producer. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Harrison Bender up on stage to give you all a brief overview of our program. Harrison?
Hello, everyone. The most difficult part of building the program this year was viewing the unprecedented 1,300 submissions and having to decide between so many varied and outstanding works. This year, our slate includes 83 films with premiere status and 16 world premieres, and we want to wholeheartedly thank the filmmakers who shared their work with us this year. There's truly something for everyone this year, with films ranging from stories of triumph and perseverance in distant corners of the world that would be otherwise left unseen by US eyes, such as Black Kite, On Her Shoulders, I Am Not a Witch, and Genesis 2.0. To bona fide stranger than fiction, unbelievable true American stories with Three Identical Strangers, Father's Kingdom, and The Experimental City, to films that take place in our own backyard, Mermaids, A Frenchman in Florida, and The Great Flip-Off. We have insightful and inciting socio-political studies with films like Generation Wealth, Freedom for the Wolf, and Bisbee 17, knockout international film festival favorites such as Zama, La Flor de la Vida, Holiday, All You Can Eat Buddha, Queen of Fear, and Distant Constellation, just to name a few. And we also have some family-friendly picks such as Lou Over the Wall, Tinker, Killer Bees, and A Tuba Cuba. Many of the films in this year's lineup include career-defining performances from some of our favorite actors, including Ethan Hawke in First Reformed, Juliette Binoche in Let the Sunshine In, Jim Parsons in A Kid Like Jake, Regina Hall in Support the Girls, and Steve Buscemi in Leon Pete, as well as emerging acts like Tony Revolori, Charlie Plummer, who most recently won an award in his performance on Leon Pete, and Haley Lou Richardson in breakout roles. And with that, I turn it over to our programmer at large, Nellie Killian.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about our competition lineups this year. We are highlighting some of the most exciting world cinema from leading international film festivals all around the world. Our narrative competition includes work by alumni filmmakers like Josephine Decker, who will be here with Madeline's Madeline, one of the most buzzed about films at Sundance. Andrew Bujalski, who just premiered his new film, Support Our Girls, at South by Southwest to incredible acclaim, as well as work by emerging international talents like Rangano Nyane with I Am Not a Witch, and Camilla Adini's The Seen and Unseen, among other movies that have been feted all around the world. The documentary competition includes some of the most acclaimed work of the year, Ramel Ross's Hale County This Morning, This Evening, Bing Lu's Minding the Gap, as well as Talal Derki's Of Fathers and Sons. We're very excited also to announce a refocused and expanded independent visions category, highlighting boundary-pushing work by emerging film artists who are redefining cinematic form. This year's Indie Visions lineup includes challenging documentary work like Sarasota alumni Khalik Allah's Black Mother, Sophie Badanowitz's Maison de Bonheur, and Jake Majinski and Neil Young's Milford Graves' Faux Mantis, which is an incredible film portrait of one of the most consequential jazz drummers of his generation, possibly of all time. Along with a lot of the truly independent American narratives that I'm sure many of you associate with Indie Visions, like Carolyn Gollum's A Feast of Man and Ricky D'Ambrose's Notes on an Appearance. Across all of our competition and main slate categories, we're proud to be hosting several world premieres, including Old Dog, a disarming tale of Kiwi sheep herders and their unique understanding of man's best friend, Tour Without End, which is a world premiere within our Indie Visions category, and is a genre-bending comedy about the lives of aging musicians and performance artists who came of age during the DIY moment of the 1990s. The Transcendence, a comedy of uncommon scope dealing with the lives of American indie cult icons, and Delinda, another oddball comedy about media exploitation of national tragedies. We're also showing Diminuendo, a sci-fi romance of epic proportions, featuring the final performance of the late Richard Hatch, as well as Walter Koenig from the original Star Trek, who will be in attendance here in Sarasota. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Greg, who's going to talk a little bit about our sidebars.
Thank you, Nellie. Before I get into our sidebars, I'd like to talk a little bit about our local films. We are so proud to showcase 14 films this year from our own backyard. And I'd like to talk about two terrific films in particular. Facing Mental Illness, which details a year-long project based in Sarasota that strived to end stigma against individuals who were facing mental illness through an ingenious process of art therapy and self-discovery. Also, we'll be celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Through the Tunnel this year. Through the Tunnel tells the story of a Manatee County high school football team immediately following the end of segregation in Florida schools. Some very exciting stuff. I'd also like to mention, in this male-dominated industry and the year of hashtag #MeToo and Time's Up, that we are so very honored to continue our collaboration with Through Women's Eyes and the Gulf Coast chapter of UN Women. Can we get a big round of applause for them, please? Thank you. And in consideration of these very serious issues, we haven't forgotten that one thing that we can never have too much of, especially nowadays, is laughter. So this year, we're highlighting the outstanding contributions of women comedic filmmakers with 5 fresh selections in our Women's Comedic Voices sidebar, including The Long Dumb Road, Birds Without Feathers, Wild Nights with Emily, Clara's Ghost, and A Feast of Man. Sorry, not comedic. Is that better? We're also going to be focusing on the representation of men in cinema and the ever-evolving and elusive faces of modern-day masculinities with films like Won't You Be My Neighbor, which is the Fred Rogers documentary. Also, The Rider, which is a story about modern-day cowboys and bull riding. And also Minding the Gap, which is a documentary that took over 10 years to create. And last but not least, for those of you who know me well, and as Mark said before, you may have an idea of just how excited I am about this last sidebar focus. Music. Everything from revealing portraits with Grace Jones, Bloodlight and Bami, Milford Graves, as Nellie mentioned, and Matangi Maya, M-I-A, to illuminating retrospectives in The King and whimsical comedies with Chasing the Blues, Tour Without End, and The Transcendence. We have a truly rocking selection with this year's music films, and I trust will make an excellent counterpoint to the fantastic original musicians that we'll be featuring in this year's parties, including the Seratones from Shreveport, Louisiana, Tangina Stone from New York City, and legendary post-punk group Pylon from Athens, Georgia. All in all, we trust that this year's program will leave nothing to be desired, and only untold gains for movie lovers of every ilk. From Cassavetes to Cassiopeia, we invite you to join us in this exploration and celebration of the brightest stars of our cinematic past, present, and future. Sarasota, I look forward to seeing you at the movies. Aaron Murphy, everyone.
Hello everyone. I'm the official schedule keeper of the film festival now. This is my first year as the associate festival director. Thank you all for being here. It's so exciting to see so many people that I've been able to work with here at the festival for the last 7 years. We have Kathy Jordan here. We have the entire Through Women's Eyes crew that have been countless and unending sources of support for me as I encounter this new position. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you for sticking with me and encouraging me. And I'm going to keep this short because I know that ultimately this is a party. And we're going to talk about some of the parties right now, actually, that we have coming up this year. We're very excited about a couple of partnerships with third-party promoters. That we're changing the way that we approach a lot of our events this year. It's really been a big focus of mine in order to really redo our events as well as our customer-facing ticketing. So the non-boring part of that equation is our parties. So this year we're partnering with Full Moon Promotions, who will be promoting our 20th annual Out of This World Gala celebration, the Friday, April 20th at the Art Ovation Hotel. So we're very excited about that and to be able to collaborate. We're also collaborating this year with Chill Lounge with Rainer and Ralph. They've just been absolutely incredible, and we're so excited to take over 5 Points Park with a brand new party, our closing night party we're calling Chill Under the Stars. And so that will be happening closing night before our wrap party. And so we're really stoked to get cracking on that one because there's just so much to offer. We're there with the Brazilian samba parades, etc. So we're also repeating our popular opening night block party this year and just kind of getting a down-home feel of having a welcoming party that everyone can afford, that they can approach the film festival from the street and be able to participate in this 20th anniversary because we're so entrenched in our community here, and we really want to highlight that and celebrate that. On the vein of community, I did want to make sure to thank the rest of our sponsors here. We have the SCAC Family Foundation, Cityside, Longboat Key Property Management, and Gates Construction, ABC 7, 10 News TSP, METV, Comcast, Herald Tribune, 103.9 KISS FM, Sarasota Magazine, Sarasota Scene, SarasotaOut.com, SNN, SRQ Media, and WUSF as our major media sponsors. Thank you all for helping us put the word out constantly about this festival and helping the community know about what we're doing. Thank you. For our major supporting sponsors, we have Richard's Foodporium, we have Burnt Orange Sound, we have DSDG Architects, Aloft Hotels, LJ Events Production, Full Moon Production, Hotel Indigo, Group Z Signs, who have printed these beautiful step and repeats, as you can see with our campaign art here. Thank you guys so much. We have a Jewish Federation has been an undying support system for us. Networks who have helped us, our box office system run every single year. Thank you guys so much. We'll probably be calling you a lot this weekend. The Wallach Family Fund, we've got Atelier Media who did our PSA along with Tyler Mathis, who did our campaign art last year. Thank you again so much for applying your graphic skills to our video projects this year. We have Il Panificio, we have FST, again, that'll host our conversation series. This year we have Steve Gutenberg, we have Virginia Madsen, we have Eric Stoltz, and we have Rory Kennedy, all slated at Florida Studio Theater. We're very excited about that. We also have Tito's Vodka, which is one of the things that you're probably sipping on tonight. We have Stella as the sponsor. We have Muse Salon, thank you Gigi and David. We have Sift Bakery, 81 and Sunny. We have Jessica's Picture Framing, who has, out of the kindness of her heart, framed every single one of these posters that you see around the room. We have every single one of these is our 20 years of campaign art that we wanted to show to you together. We have Cineworks, we have Dex Imaging, Stella Artois, Shore, Boar's Head, Apex. We have Artsy Types, we have Sandy Kaplan, who's made our website run for many, many years. WSRQ, 96.5, Mommy Magazine, Harbor Style, the Venice Gondolier Sun, Family Beautiful, West Coast Women. We have the Greater Sarasota Chamber of Commerce, Perception Management, SRQ Airport, Top 10 Sarasota, Lyra Juna Makeup, Venice Art Center, Nothing Bundt Cakes, Sam Ash Music Stores, Red Property Management, Triforce Pictures, and then we have many other partnering organizations like the Harvey Milk Festival located here, the Nathan Benderson Park that we show our Moonlight movies to, and then of course we have our granting organizations and funds and foundations that we could not absolutely do this festival without, such as the Tourist Development Commission. We have the Publix Charities, the Husking Foundation, the Community Foundation, and the DCA. Aside from that, I am going to just highlight a couple more things. With this year, we are taking a risk, and without risk, you don't have change. So with our ticketing system, we're launching a completely new ticketing system actually at midnight tonight. Fingers crossed everything goes well, but I know that we have many people working on this around the clock just to make sure that it launches properly. So our program will be available to members on March 24th and to the general public on March 26th. Come by and see us in the box office any day between 12 and 7 p.m. in the lobby of the Regal Hollywood 11, cinemas. And we'll be online and in our call center. If you have any questions, feel free. As I've been here for 7 years, I just want to make sure that each and every one of you has a good experience here with the festival. You feel that you're finding something that you want to see, and that we really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I did want to bring up, just as the final piece, to speak about our year-round educational program. So we have our brand new education director who comes from us from Prague, who has run the 48-hour film festival over there in Prague. I have Paul Ratner to speak about a couple of new exciting programs this year. And we also have Petra. Paul and Petra are a team. Paul is our education director, and Petra is our marketing and events manager. And together they will be speaking about these programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us over. Petra and I are very excited to be part of the education team here at the festival this year. One thing that really stood out to us when we learned, about the Sarasota Film Festival is the commitment that they have towards education. This festival really goes out of its way to connect to the community and to offer the film experience and the film education to many local students. Over 15,000 students have been impacted in the years of the festival so far, and we are really looking to expand this program this year and to really reach even more kids. I'm just going to run down for a few new things that we're going to do this year for the film festival. One thing that we're going to add is a 20-hour film contest, which is something that we have quite a lot of experience in. And it's an exciting kind of event where filmmakers get a theme and an assignment, and they have to make a film in 2 days. It's called 20-Hour Film Festival. We're giving them 20 hours to make the film and 20 hours to edit it. So it's a very kind of stressful situation, but it's quite exciting because filmmakers make a lot of friends, and they really kind of get to prove themselves in such a short period of time. Because if you've never made a film, believe me, 20 hours is just not enough time. But it's an exciting way to really get out there and get something done. So this is one of the new events that we're introducing this year. Some other new events that we are expanding our Classroom Critic program, which has been going on now for a few years. we're making it more centered towards film education and learning film language and film terms, and we're really hoping to bring it to middle school and high school kids, and with the purpose of expanding, what we know about film, and hopefully, they will make a film to submit to the film festival this year. And to that end, we're continuing the Hollywood Nights program, which has local and international filmmakers submit films to screen as part of a festival. It's a very exciting event because it gives young filmmakers a chance to show their film on a big screen as part of an important film festival like this. It's a very exciting opportunity along with a red carpet and with a lot of kind of excitement from their friends and family who come to see their films. So we're very excited to offer that to them as well. Another interesting event that we're doing this year is a special screening of a film Profile, which is a very buzzy film that have just won awards, audience awards at the Berlin Film Festival and the South by Southwest Film Festival. And we are going to introduce it to high school and college students, and it's going to teach them an entirely new language of making films that they haven't seen before, as well as give them an opportunity to win a development deal in a contest with a major Hollywood production company. We also have coming back some of sort of the usual events for education that the film festival is known for, like the VIP trips, where we get over 1,000 local students to come to the film festival to see films that are appropriate to their age and are going to contribute to their education. So we're quite excited to be a part of that. As far as in another sort of last thing that we're doing that we want to tell you about is junior jury, which is a way for local high schoolers to learn about film criticism and to be a part of choosing the winner of a Hollywood Nights showcase. So we're just very excited to be bringing this type of educational programming to the Sarasota Film Festival, and thank you so much. Yeah.
Woohoo! Hooray for education!
As a last little recap, I just wanted to thank again each and every one of you for attending. This has been incredibly special to celebrate my first festival as the director and our 20th anniversary together with you here at the Westin. Special thanks to LJ Events Production that have made this room transform into what it is. And let's hang out. Thank you so much.
We have many films to look forward to this year. We have about 9 spotlight films, 2 amazing opening and closing night films. The closing night film by Rory Kennedy, and a festival staple for us. And we have a narrative and documentary competition that I think we're both very proud of, and an Indie Visions competition that we are also especially proud of.
It's sort of a multifaceted process. We have submissions, which accounts for about, I'd say, 1,300 to 1,500 films that come in sort of unsolicited from all corners of the world, really. We also are constantly looking for films that haven't come to us. So we attend film festivals like the Toronto International Film Festival, Sundance, and we also reach out to festivals that we haven't been able to attend, like the International Documentary Film Association Festival in the Netherlands, or Locarno in Switzerland, the True False Festival that was in Missouri earlier this month. And we reach out to our alumni, are a huge source of information. They often have new projects, or their producers or collaborators are working on films that they're excited about, and they share those enthusiasms with us. Send us links. And, honestly, it's almost frightening how many movies we watch. It's,
Yeah.
I would say, in the thousands for each of us.
Yes.
So we really looked high and low, tried to find stuff, tried to find the movies that everyone's talking about, and also tried to find the movies that everyone should be talking about.
No, we do have something for everyone. We have something for young kids. We have a film called Lou Over the Wall that is sure to please kids, and we also have many shorts as well. We have stuff for we have a lot of challenging material in Indie Vision's work, but is also very fun and exciting as well.
We have movies that might introduce you to a subject or an issue that you were unfamiliar with, or one that you'd never really thought about the way that it's presented by the filmmaker. There are also movies that are just fun, and we hope you walk out of the theater, thinking that you just had a great time. There's movies where a great thing that I think all film festivals aspire towards is that some people will walk away sort of being aware of artists that they otherwise never would have known about, whether it's emerging filmmakers or a filmmaker from Bali that they never would have been on their radar had it not been for the Sarasota Film Festival. So I think those are
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we want people to come away with feeling that they've learned something or gained an experience that is meaningful in the films that they saw, whether it be something that delighted them, challenged them, or made them think a different way. That's really sort of what this festival and film festivals in general are sort of all about. Well, I think first and foremost, we just have a hardworking team. I mean, I think the core group over the years has been tremendously strong. We've had great sources of leadership over the years, from with Mark Famiglio, of course, at the very top, and artistic director is doing a wonderful job. Of course, really need to point out the volunteers. They run this festival, basically. Thank you, volunteers. And the quality of programming, I think, brings out a very hungry, eager to be involved in art community that Sarasota really fosters. So I think that's primarily why we've reached our 20-year mark, and God willing, another 20 plus, right?
Well, I'm a bit of an outsider on this. It's my first year working at the film festival, and I live up in New York, but I can say that from that perspective, Sarasota has an incredible reputation and always has as a festival that seems to program both for its community, but also programs a slate of really interesting work for their community. Things that are exciting, I think, nationwide. Really world premieres of work by emerging filmmakers that slip through the cracks at a lot of the larger film festivals have found a home over the years at Sarasota, and it's really been a launching place for a lot of filmmakers that have gone on to do incredible things, and we're hoping to keep that tradition alive.